right, good evening. Thank you guys for coming tonight. We're so excited you're here. We have a lot in store for you guys tomorrow. It's going to be a great day. But tonight I want to talk about sidewalk counseling. Now, some of you may be familiar with this, but we have some new faces, so we want to cover the basics. For those who don't know, sidewalk counseling is basically standing outside of abortion facilities and being that last-ditch effort to reach the babies, talking to mothers and fathers who have their babies scheduled to be killed that day. So it's a very serious place. We're talking about abortion a lot today and tomorrow, but we're actually going to be going to the place where they kill these babies. So we need to be taking it very seriously. But lucky for you, we're going to be going through all the steps that will help you be equipped on how to talk to people who are abortion-minded. I want to give you guys 5 easy steps, and hopefully through these steps, you can guide a mother or a father on how to, or encourage them to keep their babies. But yeah, before I do that, we're going to pass out some sidewalk counseling booklets. This is really going to help you guys. You can take this anywhere you go. You can take it with us tomorrow when we go to the abortion facility, when you have the option to come either to the clinic or to go to the Ohio State House to do outreach. But yeah, Gavin and Isaiah are going to pass those out, but I'll go ahead and go through these steps. The first step is to prepare yourself. Of course, we need that step before we can do anything. Second is initiating conversations. Third is talking with mothers. Fourth is talking with others. This can include the fathers who are dropping off their girlfriends, their wives at the abortion facility, the clinic escorts, workers, even the abortionists, how to talk to those people. And last but not least is sharing hope with these people. So let's first go through the first step. Preparing yourself is really important. Wherever you come from, you want to find out where your abortion facility is. But if you're here in Columbus, good news for you, we have all the information for you. And we'll also be going to that clinic tomorrow. So you want to find out where your local abortion facility is. You want to know when they're open so you can go when people are walking in. You also want to know where the closest pregnancy resource center is. So this is the place that will actually help women, not harm women or babies. So you want to know all the services they provide so that you can share that with the women who are abortion-minded, telling them, did you know that this place will give you a free ultrasound? They won't charge you. Hearing that to a woman in a tough situation, that can encourage her to go over there. So knowing when they're open, how far away they are. Actually, tomorrow at the Planned Parenthood, there's a facility or a care center right across the street that we could walk them to if we needed. We also want to bring signs and literature. Signs you can find at Create Equals store website, or you can make your own. And also, you can find sidewalk counseling lit to hand out. If you go to heritagehouse.com, they have some great resources on specifics of what to give a father or a friend or someone who's had an abortion, how they can heal through Jesus Christ. You want to make sure you familiarize yourself with basic fetal development. Tomorrow, Seth will be giving a 101 training where you hear all about that. You want to make sure you don't go alone to the abortion facility. Always bring a buddy. It's just safer that way, because when you're out there doing a controversial thing, emotions can get high. You want to make sure you have someone there with you. And again, last but not least, is to reflect on the gravity of abortion before you go. Our team, we like to pray when we get there and before we leave, remembering that what's happening inside that building is wrong and evil. We completely oppose it. But we need to be, coming to God and asking for his help as we witness to these mothers and fathers and try and save these children. So that's step 1. Step 2 is initiating conversations. So you're at the abortion facility, you got your signs, you have your sidewalk counseling literature, and you see cars pulling into the driveway. Now, depending on how your clinic is set up, it'll be different whichever one you're at. That's why it's good to have multiple people there so you can cover more than one spot if there's 2 entrances. But you see a car pull in. What you want to do is get their attention, make a good first impression. You are basically trying to get them to come over and talk to you. If we want these women to possibly change their minds and choose not to kill their children, we have to get the conversation first. And we don't do that by appearing frantic or angry or mad. We want to be approachable. So we want to appear calm. Greet them by saying good morning, hi, introduce yourself, say my name's so-and-so, let them know that you're there to help, and then encourage them to come over and talk to you. That's something that they'll want to do, not if you're, frantic or you're very timid and shy, so we don't want to be passive. You may have a very short window to reach these mothers and fathers, so we don't want to be passive. But another thing to keep in mind is that there may be other Sidewalk counselors there. We don't want to talk over them if they're trying to talk to someone, and that might ruin their chance on having a connection with that person and a conversation. So we want to be respectful of other people talking, but if you see an opportunity to talk to someone, you shouldn't be passive. You should be eager. You should be bold, and have a conversation with them. All right, step 3, talking with mothers. How do we talk to these women who are going to a facility to have their child be killed? So, of course, we want to be praying the whole time that we're there, asking for God to, lead us in these conversations. We also want to be aware of our surroundings, because if we see, someone pulling in, we want to be there to be the first person to talk to them. So we want to offer them help from a local pregnancy center. We want to share with them the dangers of the abortion facility. This is really good to do. I don't know if you guys heard recently at the Kettering Clinic over near Dayton, they had another botched abortion. Sharing that with patients, telling them, did you know that this abortionist just had a botched abortion? That could deter them from going inside that facility. So it's good to do some research on your local abortion facility. Telling them that abortion not only kills their baby, but it always leaves women damaged too. Even though we're there because we care about the children that are dying every single day, we need to understand that abortion is a selfish act, and they're choosing to do this. So by sharing that this could harm them, could deter them from getting this abortion. Sharing with them that there are couples willing to adopt their baby. Women and men or fathers have turned from abortion because they hear that someone, would be able to take care of their baby, and maybe at that time they can't. Share with them prenatal development. Again, that can really humanize the baby. If the mother is denying that she has a little baby inside her womb because it's so small, sharing with them that their baby, their heartbeat started just at 16 days can really resonate with them. And of course, describing the abortion procedures can be very powerful. Telling them that, did you know that if you're this far along, they use a suction aspirator that's 10 to 20 times stronger than a household vacuum that will completely rip apart your little baby. Hearing that can deter women away. You want to make sure that you keep speaking when you see a woman get out of her car. I would say the second her car door opens, that's when you want to start talking. Again, you have a short window. She could walk in less than 5 seconds into the clinic. And we, depending on your clinic, we have to keep in mind that they may have escorts there. And in case you didn't know, these are people who usually have vests on, and their job is essentially to get them into the clinic as fast as possible. So that's why we want to be aware of our surroundings and try and reach them before the escorts do. And even after she enters, it's good to continue talking, because sometimes the waiting rooms are really close to the front door, and they can still hear what you're saying. So I'm going to show you guys some things to say to the women and how to say them. If they're they're far away, if you're not, face to face with them real close. So these are a bunch of one-liners. You can find this in your booklet too. I highly recommend memorizing these. Sometimes you'll just blank of what to say. If you have these memorized, you can just roll them off, and it's okay if you repeat yourself because they're good things to say. We'll just go through them. No one can force you to have an abortion. We don't know all the situations of these women who are going in. Some of them could be being forced into it, whether it's from their boyfriend or from their parents, unfortunately. Telling them that it's never too late to cancel their appointment or leave the facility. Maybe if they're there, they think, okay, I'm here, I have to do this. Telling them that you don't have to. You're there for them can hopefully really resonate with them. After having an abortion, you're 6 times more likely to commit suicide. Sad, but true. This abortion is not going to get you out of the bad situation you're in. Some women may be, again, being forced into an abortion by their abusive boyfriend. But that's not going to, if they were to have this abortion, it doesn't mean their boyfriend's going to be a Prince Charming. It's not going to fix their situation. Women regret their abortion for the rest of their lives, that they don't have to make this decision on a whim. They need to go home and think about it. If we can get them to cancel their appointment and come talk to you, that's a good step in the right direction. This is a life-changing and permanent decision for really a temporary situation. They're not going to be pregnant forever. They don't need to make this very evil decision. I love using this one. At least go look at your baby on an ultrasound, sharing that with them, that they could go see their baby right now. It's very powerful. If you are pregnant, you are already a mother. You can always flip this to, I'll bring this up again when we talk about fathers. If your girlfriend or your wife is pregnant, you are already a father. You are strong enough to protect yourself and your baby. Your baby needs you. Telling them again about how far along, if they're so far along, you can tell them about specifics about fetal development. So telling them that at just 8 weeks, your baby is sucking on his or her thumb. That can be very powerful. And telling them that you can trust in Jesus, that he will give you strength to love and care for your baby. So how do you say this to these patients going in? If you're up close and talking to them, you can just treat it like a normal conversation, still telling them these truths. But say it's pretty far away and you don't know if you'll be able to be heard. You want to project your voice, but not come across aggressive. So not yelling or screaming, but projecting your voice. And hopefully I'm not too loud with my mic. Maybe I'll do this. So for example, you can say, no one can force you to have an abortion. You want to really seem, which we are, you want to just be very approachable and friendly and kind, but still tell them the truth. No one can make you do this. Let them know that you care, and you can use that in your voice because they don't know you. They just know you're out there standing in front of the facility, and they're probably scared. So being, very clear on how you feel about this, letting them know that you care about them and you want the best for them is very important to do. Okay, moving on to speaking with others. The father, very, very crucial person in this situation. A lot of times the father will be there to drop off their girlfriend or wife. They'll walk them in or drop them off, and they'll either come out and sit in their car, or sometimes they'll drive away. But a lot of times they'll be sitting in their car, and that's a great opportunity to talk to them. Before I go into what to say, I want to share this really impactful survey that was done in 2016 that talks about how crucial the father is in the nuclear family. In 2016, they did a survey that found that if a child is the first person in the family to become a Christian, there's a 3.5% probability the rest of the family will follow. If the mother is the first to become a Christian in the family, there is a 17% probability everyone else in the family will follow. However, when the father is the first to become a Christian in the family, there's a 93% chance that everyone else in the family will follow. The father is crucial to the family, and that's why we need to tell him that he is not fulfilling his role. He is not being a man, because men are called to protect women and children. That's the complete opposite of what he's doing at the abortion facility. So you want to take advantage of talking to the father, because a lot of times we've seen when fathers go in and try and talk to their girls, telling them that they love them and they want to raise this child with them, the girls will follow because they want to follow the man's lead. So sharing with them that, they need to be a man, they need to go get their girl, that they already are fathers. Doesn't matter if the baby's really young. From the moment of realization, they've become parents. Talking with friends and relatives who are dropping off either their sister or their friend, we want to tell them again that it's in their friend's best interest not to be there. So if they care about their friend, they need to get their friend out of there. Urge them to act urgently, and it's good just to keep talking. If you can get them talking, that can open a lot of doors to having them do something. You want to encourage them to call your friend, text your friend, get her out of there. Even better, go inside the facility and try and get her out. We've seen plenty of times where they've tried to do that, and the abortion facility kicks them out and doesn't let them in because they don't want them to change their mind. They want the abortion because they're there for the money a lot of the time. Facility staff, escorts, and law enforcement, we're there because we care about the little babies that are dying from abortion. But we also care about the lost souls who work at those facilities that need Jesus. So we want to share with them that we are here for the babies, but we also care about you. We don't like what you're doing, but we want you to be, come to Christ and choose to support all human beings and not support this place of death. So I would encourage you guys to talk to the facility workers, the nurses, even the abortionists, and tell them that they can go to abortionworker.com and they can find another job. Encourage police officers out there who often do security. They're really just picking up extra hours, so they can encourage them to go to another place. They can go to a movie theater, they can go to a mall, pick up extra hours there. They don't need to be aiding in this abortion facility just for extra money. Going on to organizations and individuals, this is essentially like if you see maybe, like at our Planned Parenthood, we saw a pest control van roll up. We would encourage them not to do business with Planned Parenthood, or if there is a lawn care business there, just encouraging them not to, associate with people who intentionally kill innocent little babies. And also, if you're there praying while someone else is sidewalk counseling, because we're not going to talk over someone else's sidewalk counseling, if we see someone walking by, ask them what they think of this place. Ask them, do you know what happens here? And then from there, you can go into some 101 training, which you will get tomorrow. That way, you can still talk to people, even if you're not directly sidewalk counseling. All right, and lastly, we're talking about sharing hope. Say, you're there, you talked to several women, and they walked inside the facility, and they didn't come out. They did not change their minds. One thing to remember is you can't put that on your shoulders. You're not there for the abortion. You're there to try and convince them not to do it. Their decision that day does not reflect on you. But when the women are leaving, we want to still reach out to them even though the abortion has already happened, to let them know that it's not too late for them to find forgiveness in Jesus Christ. So we want to assume the women leaving the facility have had the abortion. That way we don't miss out on anyone who had an abortion and we didn't get to share with them the truth. We want to do the same thing when they're entering the facility because we don't want to risk not telling them the truth. Even if someone's not there for an abortion, we still want to share with them that you shouldn't be supporting a facility that kills babies. If they're there for other female checkups and stuff like that, they can go to another facility and get that done. Or if they're there for birth control, you can share with them how bad that is for them as well. But if there's a woman who exits the facility and she has a brown paper bag, usually that's an indicator. I would say, yes, it's an indicator that she has already taken the first abortion pill, and she has a second one in that bag that she'll take a few hours later. That will cause her to have contractions and pass the baby at home. But you want to share with them about abortionpillreversal.com. For those who don't know, this is a website, an organization that gets medications to women in their area through the local pharmacy to reverse that first pill. So if they have changed their mind, you can tell them to go abortionpillreversal.com. And for those, another indicator if a woman's had an abortion, usually she'll be in some comfy clothes like sweatpants or leggings or baggy clothes. And she will have someone there to drive her home because they're not allowed to drive themselves home after a surgical procedure. So you want to, again, share with her resources that there's healing after abortion, that there's they can go to counseling at those local pregnancy care centers. But we know that our only true healer is Jesus Christ, and by repenting and putting our trust in Him and choosing to live our life for Him, they will be forgiven and made new. So before I close, I want to share a story of a baby save. Praise the Lord. About 2 years ago, I was outside of Planned Parenthood in Columbus, Ohio, and I was standing in this back alley, which sounds really sketch, kind of is, but there's people that pull in back there, and I was able to stop her in her car, and I talked to her for a little bit. She shared with me that she was there for an abortion, and that she was sexually assaulted, and I just, talked to her, and she was very nervous to talk to me because she kind of heard about people who stand outside of abortion facilities. Sometimes we have a bad rap. We're not bad, but we have a bad reputation, I guess. But I just shared with her that, I care about her. And I noticed in her back seat that she had a car seat. And I asked her, do you have other children? She's like, yeah, I have a daughter. And I was like, I just want to tell you that I think, the little baby inside your womb right now is just as valuable as your daughter. And she listened to me for a little bit, and I told her, let's just go over and look at your baby real quick. Let's go get an ultrasound. And she ended up pulling inside the Planned Parenthood and started to walk in. And I was calling out her name and telling her, this is wrong. You don't have to do this. We care about you. We love you. It's not too late. And she went in, and I lost hope there for a second. And I went around to the other Sidewalk counselors there, and I said, it's not too late, though. We can still pray, and maybe she'll come out. And about 20 minutes later, she came out sobbing, got in her car, and said, I'm going over there to get an ultrasound. And I walked her up to the front door of the care center, and she said, I couldn't do it. I couldn't kill my baby. She knew it was wrong. She knew it was a human being. And she said she was there because she thought, it was the right thing to do at the time. And she went in, she came out with her ultrasound, and she was so happy. And she actually said that she was going to have a little boy, which she was right. That baby is now probably almost 2 years old. But praise the Lord that child's life was spared. Yeah, very, very great. Okay. But not every day at the facility, our team knows, do we have stories like that. Majority of the days is when we're out there advocating for those little babies, and they still walk in and they walk out, and it's very sad. But again, we need to remember that we are called to be obedient. We're called to be faithful, regardless of what happens. And people's decisions, we can't let that weigh on our shoulders. But we just need to be there to try and rescue those being led to the slaughter.